Alright, hello everybody. We're going to be doing HpF Factory versus Wake Gods here, which is the Gold Cycle 6 losers back at round 2. And just happened to do WoG earlier today in their round of 8 loss against Dawn. That took a couple of games. Dawn looking a little bit iffy in that first game of the series as WoG had some opportunities to capitalize, couldn't quite do it. And in game 2, a little bit worse off. Ended up going about 25-minute loss or so, and just basically looked like they were never in it. So down to losers bracket they go, and HpF Factory getting knocked down after the first round of 16 as they lost to Coolio. Took that series to 3 games, which is actually pretty impressive considering the names on Coolio: Archie Tiger, Catlow Main, various other people's shit. God. Alright, hello everybody. We're gonna be, and that's what happens when you forget to mute yourself in the background. But anyway, I'd expect a solid series between these two teams. Stupid Stu is a stupid idiot, so I won't talk about him. He's also known as Art of Pho. You might know him from casting. This is his Gold Division team, and they're really bad, so I'm expecting complete failure on his part. Let's see if his team can carry him. As far as the rest of them, haven't seen too much of what they can do. Like I said, winning a game off of Coolio is fairly impressive, and then they took a forfeit victory in the first round to avoid relegation to Silver Division, and it was Izu, in fact, taking the loss as they went down. So one of these teams will be bounced out of Cycle 6, actually, and I think at this point WoG have to be a little bit concerned about where they are. A team that I think they expect themselves to be doing a little bit better than this, losing at the losers back round 2. So I would say, in general, they're probably the favorites in this series, although no means a overwhelming favorite. Certainly could see this going to 3 games and being very tightly contested. You may have noticed by now that I do not have a co-caster, going solo this time, as it is later over here in the US and it's the middle of the night in Europe, which means it's often difficult for people to stay up. I was like, Spoosh should cast, and other people were like, yeah, I'll cast after I'm done with the stupid TMM game, and they start another TMM game. So the point is, I don't trust people because they're all horrible, horrible individuals, and they could die as a fire as far as I'm concerned. But that's got no relevance to this game whatsoever, and in fact I haven't talked about this game at all, so let's start doing that a little bit. Cthulhu Elephant Kraken can be the first 2 bans from Masatoshi on the Legion side, so Elephant getting taken up by the Legion team, not a typical ban, but it's fine, not the greatest. It's fine. Swiftblade and Parasite being removed by Mott's on the Hellborn team, and that's going to lead into Ophelia, Engineer, and Magnus as the first 3 picks. Hellborn going to start out with Rhapsody, Tempest, and Dr. Repulsor. Legion then going to go into the bands of Bubbles, Pebbles, and Prisoner 945, Hellborn, Flux, Soulstealer, and the Dark Lady. So Hellborn focusing a little bit more on the short lane carries option, as Legion side still perhaps do not have one. I would assume that the Wretched Hag is currently going to be their short lane option, but could still be running the suicide role, especially considering we're looking at a Tempest on the Hellborn team, so it's possible we see a 1v1 in the short lane, which Hag is much better when she is in that sort of situation. And Legion side looking to take out some initiators, as the Hellborn don't really have too much in terms of straight-up initiation. Tempest and Dr. Repulsor are both follow-up initiators. They do not want to start fights. They are mostly looking to say, you go in first, and once everybody groups up and uses a couple of spells and I feel safe going in after that, then I'm going to come in. And doing slightly different things in that respect. Tempest more of a lockdown-oriented hero, Dr. Repulsor an annoying damage-dealing hero, but still similar mentalities in terms of not wanting to be the first ones into the fight. And Legion side actually have a number of heroes that wanted the first one into the fights. Magnus, really good team fight starter with his eruption, of course. Wretched Hag, similar situation. If she can get off a nice initiation, she can certainly be the first one in. Probably doesn't want to be, but if need be, she can. Engineer, often starting fights with his keg and energy field. And it's going to be Drunken Master as the last pick for the Legion side. So likely looking at a solo short Hag and a suicide Drunken, Magnus, Engineer in the middle lane, and Ophelia in the woods. So rather predictable lanes coming out from this Legion team. And if you've watched my cast before, you know I'm not a fan of Drunken Master, but I'll leave that to the side for a moment and focus on the fact that this Legion team doesn't really have too much physical damage, so I can understand the DM pick from that perspective. Most of their damage at this point, and through most of this game, is going to be magical. Even Wretched Hag, when she gets to the hard right-click stage as the game progresses, assuming she builds that way, she's just going to do a lot of magic damage naturally. She's going to go for a Grimoire, and that's going to be a high magic damage dealer. Sonar Scream, Haunt, and the Bat Blast, of course, all going to be heavy magical damage output. So We'll see what the Hellborn team goes with their last selection there. Right-clicking Meraxis and Rally, so perhaps looking for something a little bit tankier. All four of the heroes currently are not on the tanky side of things, so wouldn't be surprised if they look for a Strength Initiator, and both Meraxis and Rally could fit that role quite well. I prefer Meraxis, but of course they're going to Rally because both teams want to pick a hero last that's quite bad in my opinion. Notable that the Hellborn team are missing Vetches apparently, as Lucky is stepping in for them. We'll see how that affects them, but yeah, looks like he's going to play the Tempest, and we'll be seeing Rhapsody Elgul, no huge surprise, different guy. They're a new carry player, going to be picking up the Dr. Repulsor, Crush the Suicide on Madman, and mid-rally is what it looks like it's going to be, so...
Let's get it on.
They pause, I don't care, because I can just skip them. And... that's a decent, obviously, looking at the rally pick on the Hellborn team, that's decent. That's not really great, I don't think. They are still relatively squishy. Rally is just not that tanky a hero, and there's a fair bit of burst damage to the Legion side, especially coming out from that Retro Hag. If things don't go particularly well for them, they could be in some trouble when it comes to staying alive in just the immediate parts of these team fights. It's pretty easy to see them going down within a couple of spells, especially if there's a good Bat Blast and a good eruption that come out from this Legion side. But presumably that's what the Rhapsody is for. And she's going to be able to save a lot of damage with her ultimate, as well as heal some of it back with her dance floor. So I guess that and the Compel, maybe they're thinking they can stay alive in these fights and survive the initial burst and then turn things around. And they certainly do have a lot of lockdown. They also have a lot of AoE damage, especially with that Seismic Slam and Dr. Repulsor jumping around with magnetic contraptions, jumping around with its ultimate, doing a lot of damage as he passes through people. And I would be surprised to see those heroes going crazy. They do have very high mobility as well on the Hellborn side. Obviously Doctor, Madman, and Rally all contributing to that. And would expect a Portal Key on Tempest at some point, so that's going to assist in their ability to jump around the map. But in general, pretty standard lanes coming out from both sides. Nothing hugely surprising. Likely to see a Doctor and Rhapsody in this top lane, going up against the Suicide Drunken Master. We've got actually Ophelia, Magnus, and Engineer here, so no, never mind. It's going to be a mid-Drunken Master. It's going to be an aggressive dual lane, aggressive tri-lane even from this whole Legion side, so Tempest jungle going to be a little bit contested here, and that's not something he deals with all that well. Ophelia, a hero that can definitely aggressive jungle, so we'll see how that benefits this Legion side. Lava Surge is going to go in onto Dr. Repulsor. They're going to have to block him out a little bit. Kegston's actually going to push him away. That was a little bit iffy. A couple more auto attacks will finish him off, but Compel is just fine. We've got three other heroes now looking to turn this around onto the Legion team. And actually, they probably didn't even use the Compel right there. That could have set up a kill if they had used it offensively. I think Dr. Repulsor was well clear once that came out, but oh well. Certainly fine to make sure that he is not killed right off the bat. I want to give the Bloodlust away to this aggro dual lane, or pseudo-tri-lane, whatever you want to call it. On the Hellborn side, we'll be forced to use a health pot on the Dr. Repulsor. Legion side using some Tangos and a mana potion for Magnus. Interesting ward placement here from Masatoshi, as I guess this provides vision to the right, and he doesn't want it to get countered, but I'm really not sure how much this actually sees. My intuition would be that it's blocked by the large majority of these trees, so a little bit strange there on the ward. As Masatoshi, yeah, that's pretty sure. Anyway, Ophelia gonna start out with the Wolf Commander here, and Engie looking to block out the Rhapsody. They obviously have not warded the pole camp, as they want to be able to use it for Ophelia. And Magnus gonna be going up against Dr. Repulsor in a lane that he probably shouldn't do particularly well in. Dr. Repulsor, not a great early laner, but once he gets 6, he's going to be basically impossible for this Legion Seed team to kill. And with Rhapsody backing him up, there's no real situation in which I think he should die. So as long as they have some semblance of lane control, Dr. Repulsor should be just fine. He'll get decent farm, and then once he hits 6 and is able to be a little more aggressive, because he knows he can get out of the situation like that, Rhapsody can roam, and he can really pick up his farm. Middle lane, meanwhile, it is Drunken Master going up against Rally. And both of these heroes really are similar. Both heavy physical damage. They both have decent mobility spells, and they both have stuff that sort of increases their damage. Obviously, the battle experience for Rally and the stagger, or yeah, that's just a stagger. Lunge is the stun for Drunken Master. So interesting. Somewhat similar heroes going up against each other, and I feel like Rally probably has the advantage just because he can go over cliffs with his Compel, and he's got a little bit more range on it as well. So wouldn't be surprised to see Pink do well in the CS score, and actually that's exactly what's happening because he does do a little bit better on the last hitting of creeps. At least he should. He's got Drink, he's got Stagger, that sort of thing is very helpful. Rally not really able to compete in the same way, but Rally shouldn't die here, and if he manages to hit 6 with reasonable timing and can keep Drunken Master relatively low, he might be able to get a counter kill with Seismic Slam. So probably not going to see too much happen in this lane for a while, but once Rally hits 6, worth coming back and seeing what happens. Bottom lane is going to be Wretched Hag up against the Madman, and this is a lane that Hag should definitely win. We currently have Baby B Kid at 225 GPM, Crush 1 at 200 gold per minute, so that's not really great. We see Madman actually has been pulled a fair bit of regen, it looks like. He's got 2 tangos and a health pot. He's really going to put a lot of auto attack harassment onto this Wretched Hag. Going to be forced to blink away. Actually, top lane is the Bloodlust, and I'm missing that. That's good, so let's go back. And there's the initiation from Magnus, followed by the Keg Stun. Yeah, nothing that the Legion or the Hellborn team can really do about this, and this is the exact problem I was mentioning before with Dr. Repulsor having some issues before he hits level 6. If he's level 6, that's not a kill at all. It's not even close. But at this point, there's no ability to run away from that sort of initiation and follow-up. So, nice Bloodlust going out for the Legion side, and it will be going in favor of Magnus in this top lane, which is more or less the hero they want to have it on. Obviously, getting an early 4 on Magnus will be very important. In the middle lane, actually, Pink getting a kill on Rally and just harassing him down. Rally finding himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, not enough mana to use the Compel, and Dr. Repulsor gets the kill, so well done to him. Certainly not bad at all. But I am somewhat concerned about this bottom lane. We actually see Crush 1 taking a CS lead over Baby B Kid. 15 CS for B Kid and 16 for this Madman, and I really don't feel like this should be happening. Stock is obviously a major problem, but with Blink, Wretched Hag can't get stunned. Actually, top lane Tempest is going to be taken out as they roam on him in the woods, so nice find. Rhapsody looking to try to counter something, but won't be able to do anything to stop Magnus' health bot. So I feel like with the haunt spam, which has been happening, he should be okay. And then with the blink, he really shouldn't be in too much danger. I'm curious as to why Madman is doing this well, perhaps just not taking the opportunity to get auto attacks in, and unable to keep the harass up. Now, I mean, it's not even like he's losing lane control either. He's got, the lane more or less where he wants it to be. He's just having issues actually getting CS, so maybe Baby B Kid can explain himself because he's in chat. Why he's failing so hard and such a terrible player, and I hate him. Anyway, this top tri lane for the Legion side is going pretty well. As we got Dr. Repulsor currently at 240 GPM, and DR, a hero that if you can shut him down early, he doesn't recover all that well. He can get active and be annoying, but he really won't carry. And this is something that the Legion side needs to do because Wretched Hag in a 1 versus 1 is not going to beat Doctor. Doctor's just too mobile, his damage output is really high, and actually speaking of Doctor, they're going to catch Ophelia and just destroy her. So this Word of Sight spotting her rotating over, and pretty easy counter kill as Oph is currently at 200 gold per minute, just 644 health, so between the opposite charges and the staccato stun, pretty darn easy to pick up that kill. It's good for Hellborn, that's what they need to get back into this game, and this will be the first time they're getting on the board. GPMs overall actually just not all that high, especially on this Hellborn team. We've got 270 or so, 265 as Madman is actually the top farmer for WoG. That's true. Madman stock does disjoint the Hag Haunt, so as long as he uses that correctly, he can certainly screw with it. That is something I did not consider. So perhaps a legitimate excuse meanwhile, NG at the top lane is going to fall as the turret not quite enough. And the last Glacial Blast does get the kill, so nice rotation from Tempest, actually hasted as he managed to grab the top rune. And maybe looking to head mid and set something else up. Drunken Master could be in some trouble, might need to pop Untouchable. There's the Compel forward and the Seismic Slam, and I don't think Drunken Master's getting out of this one. He's going to try to lunge forward, but come auto attack will finish him off. Yeah, that's going to be it. And Pink ends up taking the death, so well done from Tempest, making a lot happen actually. Getting the kill top lane, and then Elkle dying to creeps. He's level 5. I suppose that's efficient. It's not the best. I'm not really sure if he would have taken much more time to just walk straight back to base, but oh well. Madman running away in the bottom lane is after he puts some harass in with this Wretched Hag, who has picked up her farm. So he's at 270 GPM and actually could get a kill onto this Madman. He needs to be really, really careful about where he goes. Going to try to TP on out. Hag has no mana left and won't see the teleport, so forces Madman out of lane. That's extremely important, and we'll be able to get some more farm. Going to be threatening 300 gold per minute by the time Madman gets back to this lane, already at 280. So well played. And WoG starting to do some more things to get themselves back into this, as they had a decent gold advantage and experience advantage on the Legion side. That is more or less evaporating with the last couple of kills. And this Magma's one that I keep going back to just because he's going to be very important. He's got Steam Boots right now, and expecting a relatively early portal key. He's got 1150 gold. Is actually mid lane. We see Pink die once again. He's trying to run away, but no, the stock is there. So Madman getting harassed out of the bottom lane, and decides to roam middle, help Rally pick up another kill under the Drunken Master. 285 gold per minute for Pink, and now Moat's at 270. So considering how they started, it's a pretty nice recovery for the Rally, obviously getting a lot of help from his teammates. But that's exactly what you want to do. You know, that's if your mid is having problems, you have two options. Either somebody can rotate middle and get a kill, which is what they've been doing, or mid can rotate somewhere else and help set up kills in other lanes. And clearly they felt like the opportunity was there to get kills with the Drunken Master, and it's been paying off. So very well played from this Wake of God side. Actually, Madman can use the stock offensively here. He does get dusted, but he's going to take an interesting path, and we'll see if he can actually get out of this. There really isn't a lot of CC for this Hellborn side, or the Legion side. No stuns, and Hag unable to get the haunt off. It was on cooldown, so Madman no longer dusted. Is going to run away, and top lane actually Playmaker. I'm missing kills all over the board, and Tempest Hole even used to get the kill, which is fine. This early on, it's not that big a deal. It's unlikely it's going to be used for the next 3 minutes, so getting that kill on the Magmus and slowing him down is very important, because not only is he dead and unable to farm for 20 seconds, he also loses a fair bit of gold. Going to set his portal key back, and Legion side's initiation is very dependent on Magmus. Speaking middle lane, once again, Pink going to take a death, so they're having some pretty serious issues keeping this Drunken Master alive, and I guess it's just a matter of not really knowing where this Madman is, not really knowing where the Tempest is. We do have a Ward of Sight here, but I don't think this is doing all that much. It's mostly just giving them uphill vision across the river. It will obviously see back into the trees here, so if Madman tries to come in either of these angles, he will be spotted ideally. But clearly unable to actually prevent the deaths on Pink, and he is now 1-3-0. So after a very good start up against this Rally, all of a sudden Rally is over 300 gold per minute. Pink is at just 250, and things are starting to turn in favor of WoG. And Magma's actually buying a power supply, which is something I assume he did not want to have to do. He just realized, I can't be up here by myself. I need to be up here by myself, and I can't be up here by myself without a power supply. I need some sort of way to get health back, because otherwise I'm going to be repeatedly killed by this lane. This Dr. Pulser's going to be able to fly in. And Jesus, am I just missing everything, apparently? So Hag going to be able to blink away, but obviously not going to be enough. And she pops the power supply with the stock, and the last auto attack is there. So Crush 1 picking up an easy kill. And he's now 340 gold per minute with Baby B Kid at 261. So nobody on this Legion side farming all that well. And everybody's farming somewhere between below average and average, really. Maybe even a little bit below. I'm not sure if anybody's really farming all that average. After Magmus got starting to get crapped on a little bit in the top lane. And I think they need to start rotating. They've been extremely static in their lane so far. Engineer has moved from the top to the middle lane, but we really haven't seen too much, you know, Magmus coming middle to set something up on Drunken Master. Drunken Master's more or less been in this bottom lane the entire time. Hag has been in the bottom lane, Drunken Master's been mid the entire time. Hag has been bot the entire time. And middle lane, I'm going to try to set something up with Drunken Master with the counter stun. Madman is here, going to drop the keg, and it's not going to hit him actually. Now Engie going to be in a lot of trouble. Norris Blessing does go out to help save him. Tempest is taking a fair bit of damage. Here comes Ophelia, looking to lock down the Rally. Will they have enough damage? The Capella is available, but they're not going to be able to use, as they do have enough with the Skeleton King nets, so not bad. Well, let's see what they can do, but this isn't exactly where Legion want to be at this point, is what I would assume. pretty nice start in the early laning phase, but since then, Wake of Gods has really shown that they can transition into the late laning phase and really out of the laning phase better than the Legion team can. And we still see people just married to their lanes, which is not something that should happen. If you see top lane right there, they're going to jump on top of the Magnus, and Rally is there to provide the Seismic Slam and get the kill. So that's exactly the sort of situation where they're going to get a kill on Magnus because the Hellborn team are moving the Rally top, and the Legion side really aren't. Top lane, they're going to put a fair bit of damage on this Dr. Repulsor, but really Ophelia does not have the capacity to kill him, and now the CC is gone, so what's he going to do? What's he going to do? And they clean up the oath creeps as well. I don't know what Masatoshi's plan was there, but it really wasn't a good one. I don't know, somebody DC'd, I guess. It wasn't Masatoshi, he was using his CC tools actually pretty much perfectly. And if he had a Minotaur instead of a Skeleton King, he might have actually gotten a kill there. But going up 3 versus 1, usually not a great plan. And we'll see Engineer moving top once again. Magnus also moving top. Ophelia heading back to her woods. Madman farming up the woods by himself. 30 GPM for him. And he is once again the top farmer of the game. So Crush 1 having a pretty fantastic performance here in that suicide role. Getting that pooled regen very, very helpful, but obviously played his role in that lane quite well. It's not just a matter of getting help. You also got to do well, especially in that suicide lane. And we'll spot out the Ophelia. We'll see if the Catman Stomp can assist. They're going to put it down, but the stock is still there. Drunkenmaster's going to push the Rally away. He will push himself forward with the Compel. And I don't know if Madman has enough. There's a stun from Magnus onto 2, and Nora's Blessing as well. Madman's still looking for the kill onto the Ophelia. Will get it finally. Actually, Crush 1 picks it up. Mode's helping out. They will try to push the Madman away. Cancel on the Rhapsody ultimate. Here's the energy field in the background, trying to lock people down. Blast does hit actually 2. And Seismic Slam is not going to be there. It's canceled pretty quickly. Rally realizing he can't do it. Tempest Toll is going to help finish off this Wretched Hag, as well as a Drunken Master who actually gets the counter kill onto Rally. Now Tempest going to fall as the Lava Surge comes through. Madman, the only one to survive, and now here's Dr. Repulsor finally coming in. The Drunken, is he going to be able to die here? No, barrel roll misses, and stock is there, but Drunken might actually have the angle to survive this. No, barrel roll should be there. He needs another stock to get close, but can he hit the barrel roll over the ledge? Oh my god, there he finally gets it, but now Madman is way too deep, and there's more or less no way he's getting out of this. Dr. Repulsor gets stunned out. He's actually going to TP away, and they don't have the damage to kill him, so never mind. That was very, very well played from Crush, and that's got to hurt a fair bit. Now, Dr. Repulsor is out of mana. Lava Surge is going to help finish him off, and Stupid Stu picks up the kill. So, pretty chaotic and long fight right there. We pretty much saw everybody die, resurrect, and continue fighting in that team fight. So, in the end, I'd say it's more or less even. It's kind of hard to tell. So much of it happened. This is where I'd love fight recap. We don't have that. It's okay. Spec UI is still better than Dota 2, so I'm not really complaining. I can't believe they don't have this with the items. Like, that's just... They really need to be able to do something like that. I can see everybody's spells on cooldown. I can see everybody's items. All their gold. Life pools. It's so much better. Anyway, Ophelia can get caught out once again. We'll activate the ultimate on Madman, and that's just an easy kill. With no CC tools on Ophelia and Hag, they cannot lock down and kill this Madman. They can't stop him from repeatedly feeding on this oath. And now Hag won't really be in too much trouble. She's got too much damage, but still, you see how much Madman does to her. And you realize why Hag needs to be a little bit careful about this. Bottle charges are going to be used. And actually, there's the jump. Rally going to be able to hit the Compel, but the energy field will save Wretched Hag. And Rally's sort of being caught here, but there's no realistic chance that they actually kill him. Madman just unable to finish off that kill under Wretched Hag. We'll use the stock to find Engineer. Barrel roll is available, is going to hit it, and the turret goes down. Looks like Stu is going to be in a lot of trouble. That was the Compel. There it is. One more auto attack will finish him off, and our Engineer going to fall here. Hag Haunt goes on to the Rally, but Rally should be able to just walk this off as Madman providing some cover for him. Pops the Energizer as well, and now Rally can be able to get out no problem. So Modes picks the kill and gets out thanks to his buddy and the Madman. There's not too much the Legions I can do about that because, I mean, this is one of the very few problems with Wretched Hag is she doesn't have a CC tool. And the vast majority of heroes we see and the Caravel now have some sort of CC mechanism. Anyway, middle lane, we're going to see Drunken Master get jumped by a lot of heroes. Illusion Rune is popped, but Dr. Repulsor can continue to run him down. Actually, Drunken getting sent back here. If he can survive for another couple of seconds, he might live. Nope, unable to do so. Ophelia probably was just a fraction of a second away from that's Drunken Master send back actually going out. And the Hellborn team's damage just sufficient to be able to get that kill. And Seismic Slam will hit the Engineer. He's also going to get hit by Lucky with the Glacial Blast. And now, all of a sudden, Ophelia going to be in a lot of trouble. Perhaps the ultimate, not really necessary, but used anyway. And it looks like that'll be a Tier 1 tower push in the middle lane. That's going to be the second Tier 1 tower going down in favor of the Hellborn team. As the other side have none of their own. Magnus looking to set something up. He's got an Eruption, he's level 2 Eruption, and he's got a Portal Key, so he's going to hit a whole lot of people with that. Bat Blast immediately shuts down that Dr. Repulsor. Rhapsody could be in some trouble. Has the Haunt on her. And I don't think that's going to be enough damage to actually kill her, but they do get at least the one counter kill. It costs them a couple of pretty significant ultimates, as well as showing the Portal Key on Magnus, but they get the kill, and they get it on Dr. Repulsor, which is a good hero to focus. The problem is, it's actually Madman that's leading the GPM charts at this point, and both Tempest and Rally actually have more gold per minute than Dr. Repulsor does as well, so it's good to shut down this Doctor, but at this point, he's not the one that's really doing the work. It's the Madman, it's the Rally, it's the Tempest, and so maybe stop him from being able to take off, but again, they've got Madman. They don't necessarily need Doctor to take off. And we'll see if Madman can survive this. Speaking of him, he's going to get dusted out. Looking to perhaps counter on something. Energy will drop the NG field and send back onto him. It's going to allow him to survive. Astrolabe comes through, though. Tempest going to lock down both Ohm and Drunken, and Magnus jumps into it. That was a bit of a misplay. Seismic Slam helps finish him off, so 3 dead all of a sudden on the Hellborn's, on the Legion side. As a very nice Tempest Hole comes through from Lucky, who's really just had a fantastic game. 6-2 and 5, 375 GPM, and we're going to see a CC vote come through, actually. It's 9-20, so yeah, I sort of understand that. And it looks like game 1 here could be going the way of the guys on WoG. Oh, fake CC. Oh, the all chat. So great. Dr. Repulsor will pick up token here. He is going for the Hellflower, by the way, so interesting. Honestly, I might have preferred to see the Icon in this situation. He would have had that already, actually, and they already have 20 hero kills in less than 20 minutes, so when you're getting that aggressive, an Icon on Dr. Repulsor, especially early on, he's got 367 GPM, which is pretty solid timing for it, would result in him eventually becoming unkillable, I think. And it's not like they really need him to do that sort of thing, because they do have Madman, they're just doing very well in general, so he doesn't necessarily need to get like super late game carry oriented items. He can get something that's more utility based for the mid game victory, and let Madman continue to do stuff and just keep winning. But I still think Icon, very good gank oriented item, and pretty fantastic in general, especially considering the playstyle that the Hellborn team are employing. But Hellflower, still fine. Let's see Tempest picking up a Portal Key as well as his Astrolabe and Ring of Sorcery. Not a huge surprise there. Rally also sitting on a PK and a Soul's Bulwark. Rhapsody has Plated Greaves, so Hellborn team picking up Greaves. Very good item. And it's nice to always see a pair of Greaves or a Sackstone out on a team, especially if they have any sort of push potential, and the Hellborn team definitely does with the Tempest and the Rhapsody. Madman picking up Energizer as well as the Abyssal Skull, so going a little bit more utility based. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Shrunken Head on him next. Legion side obviously has a lot of magic damage, and that's going to prevent them from being able to do too much to him. It's also going to prevent them from being able to lock him down, as he really values his mobility. Legion side Red Shag going for the Light Brand into the Grimoire of Power, presumably, and you can definitely understand why. Meanwhile, Doctor going to jump on top of 4 heroes, though, and there could be too much stun, actually, for this. That was a bit of an issue. He will respawn with a token. Actually, Magma's going to have his Eruption canceled, and Seismic Slam going to help kill him. Motes gets that pick off. Drunken Master going to be in a lot of trouble as Dr. Repulsor's like I want you, and I want you dead. Now, he's going to try to jump back on him, but it's not going to happen. The last auto attack goes through, actually, and now DR going to try to run away. Runs away from Rhapsody, actually, who could have saved him. And in the meantime, they managed to pick off the Ophelia. They will end up killing Dr. Repulsor, so Token not enough to keep him alive through this whole fight, but they're still going to pick off a Wretched Hag, and Engineer eventually going to get out, the only one to survive on the Legion team. And the Hellborn losing just the Dr. Repulsor and the Token of Life. This is going to turn into a Tier 2 tower push in the bottom lane. Should be pretty easily killed. And we see another CC vote. I don't know if that one will actually go through.
The Hellborn overrun the Legion FOB.
But pretty clear that WoG are in firm control of this game. They got about 20k gold lead and 21k experience lead. They're not really in the unthrowable portion of the game yet. Every game is throwable. But it's going to take some pretty serious mistakes from the Hellborn side at this point, and it's going to take some pretty nice plays from Legion as well to do much of anything. I mean, you see Magma's 240 GPM. He's basically got his portal key, and that's it. He doesn't really need too much else, but you'd certainly like to see him a little bit further ahead, considering he was in the dual lane. And then Hag, of course, not particularly close to her Grimoire of Power, which she is really going to need. And this is going to be something more like a 30-minute Grimoire, which is not the timing that you want by any means. And it's going to impact her ability to get that 500 plus GPM that she needs, essentially, to become a legitimate late-game threat. Dragon Master, 235 GPM himself, has Soul's Bulwark, and is clearly working on Demonic Breastplate. I feel like that might not be his best option. He's getting that ring mail to stop, I suppose, the Hellborn's physical damage, which they do have a fair amount of, but they've also got the Dr. Repulsor, who's going to do a lot of magical damage. They've also got the Tempest and the Rhapsody, who will do a decent amount themselves. Obviously, Rally mostly physical, and Madman mostly physical, so you can certainly understand the ring mail pickup, but there's a pretty good physical magical split on the Hellborn team. So I don't know if that's going to do all that much damage for him, stacking all that armor. And he's currently got the Bulwark on defensive, offensive. See, I really don't like that. The Hellborn side has much more physical damage than the Legion side does, and I really don't feel like the offensive Bulwark is going to do too much for this Legion side. I mean, Wretched Hag doesn't care. Madness is not going to get anything out of it. Engineer and Ophelia are not going to be benefiting from that Soul's Bulwark. It's much better to keep it defensive for something like a Rally. Meanwhile, they're going to jump on top of this Madman, force him to pop his Shrunken Head. This is 10-second Shrunken, as he just bought it, and it will be wearing off now in a couple of seconds. So, good that they baited the Shrunken out, didn't have to use too many spells for it. I bait Hag here as well, as the Ophelia sendback is being spammed. But Hellborn clearly looking to push a Tier 3 tower. They're well aware that they're pretty far ahead in this game, and there's no interest in continuing to push this. We're actually not going to hit the Bat Blast actually onto 3. Rhapsody ultimately going to stop some damage. The only person to lock down is this Drunken Master. We'll see if they can actually get a kill on him. Yep, they can in the background. Wow, Rally killing 2 people, both the Ophelia and the Ophelia, and we'll see Engineer falling as well, and Eruption getting channeled, but the portal key was cancelled, so I'm only going to be able to hit the Rhapsody, who's actually pretty damn tanky, and has the Vestments, very helpful, of course, as well. And in the end, that is the end, and the game will go to Wake of Gods, so not a huge surprise. Really, they took a pretty substantial lead much earlier on, and then ended up basically putting away a game that they very much should have. So, congrats to them. They will take Game 1, and that's going to move us on to Game 2 in the series. Means Hot Fluff Factory going to be facing elimination in this Loser Back Round 2 series, but Wake of Gods maybe looking to fight another day. So, Game 1 over. WoG, nice victory, and we'll be moving on to Game 2 in just a moment.